everyone, this is your English teacher Hassan. Today we have a very simple, super easy lesson. Our concern today is Unit 9, and to be more specific, our field is grammar. So please everyone, open your student box on page 74, 79. Open your student box on page 79. Okay, look at the title that we have here at the top of the page. The title is Object Relative Clauses. So today we are going to describe and explain what is the object relative clauses. First of all, let's understand and make a quick revision for the clauses itself. Now we have a relative pronoun. A relative pronoun is smaller than the relative clause because the relative clause is the entire sentence, is the whole sentence. The sentence or the relative clause includes a relative pronoun. Okay, look at this picture here. Now, these are the relative pronouns in English. The first one is who, and who is a pronoun or a relative pronoun that describes people. Okay, look to this sentence. The musician who wrote this song is French. You can see the relative pronoun who describing the musician, and the musician is a person. Okay, and you can notice that the person here plays the role of the subject. So who describes the subject and describes a person or a group of people. Okay, whom relates to people, but in the place of the object. For example, I know the boy whom sits next to you. So I is the subject and the boy is the object, and whom is describing the object. Okay, excellent. The next one is which. Which relates to animals and objects. Animals and objects. So this is the cake, and the cake is an object because it doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a mind or a brain, it can't think. So it is an object. So this is the cake which Mary made. We are talking about the cake. We are talking about the cake, and which is describing the cake. Okay. Why refers to reason. The reason. Do you know the reason why the market is closed today? Why relates to the reason. So when I describe a reason, I use the relative pronoun why. When. When refers to time. Refers to time. The day when the concert takes place is Saturday. So the day is a time. And when describes the time, the day. Okay. So always, as you can notice here, all the relative pronouns describe what comes before it. Okay, not after. But in one case, in the case of whose, and we will talk about whose. Okay, the relative pronoun where refers to places. For example, this is the house, so I'm talking about the house, and the house is a place where my son was born. Where my son was born. So what I'm talking about the house, and now I am describing the house. I'm telling that in this house my son was born. So I use to link those two sentences. This is the house, my son was born. So I use where to link and to join those two sentences together. And I'm describing the house. Okay. Whose refers to position. Okay. Now, once you read the sentence, you will understand what I talked about. Now, the boy is a person. So you are supposed to use the relative pronoun who. But when you look after the blank here, when you read the second part of the sentence, the boy, space, phone just rang should stand up. Okay, the phone or phone owned by the boy. The phone is for the boy, okay? And this is the possession, okay? For example, I saw the girl, I saw the girl whose father. So I'm talking about the girl and her father. So I use whom. I'm sorry, I use whose, not who. Okay. The boy, the boy and his phone. So I use whose, not who. Excellent. The last one is that. That relates to people or animal and things. So we can use that in a brief. This is the summary of that. We can use that in the place of who. We can replace who by that. Also, we can replace which by that. And that's it. So we can use that to describe people, animals, okay, and things. Okay, let's go to our concern for today. What I want from you is to open your student box on page 110, 110. Go ahead. Okay, this is the grammar reference. For each unit, there is a grammar reference at the end of the unit. And you can find in this page the grammar explained in a very organized, simple way. Okay? This is our lesson for today. Object relative clauses. You know the part of sentence or the part of the sentence. We have the subject and we have the object and we have the tense or the verb and we have the complement. The complement might be the object or something else. Today we are talking about the object. Now relative pronouns might refer to a subject and in some cases it refers to the object. Today we are talking about the relative clauses of the object, not of the subject, okay? Now, read from here. We use defining relative clauses to give important information. So this is the use of relative clause. Relative clause is a sentence which used to give important information. So this is the relative clause that helps to identify, to know, to realize the person or the thing or the place we are talking about. For example, that is the teacher. Look here. Okay. That is the teacher, and this is the relative clause. That is the teacher of English department. This is the original sentence. And this is in the pink or in the red color. This is the relative clause. This relative clause starts with the relative pronoun who. Who refers to what or to whom? Who refers to the teacher. So, the relative clause gives more important information that we can understand and identify the teacher. Because if there is no relative clause here, I can't understand or identify the teacher. Which teacher? So because we have many English teachers in the department, so we identify the teacher by the relative clause, and the sentence is telling us that he is going to be in charge. Okay, the next one. I saw the bike that Mike wants to buy. I saw the bike is a sentence, but I don't know which kind of bikes and what do you mean by the bike because I don't know the bike. So you are identifying the bike by the relative clause which starts from that Mike wants to buy. This is a general information. So the relative clause is a sentence that we use to identify a person or a place or something we are talking about. Now the second point is the relative pronoun who, which, and that can be in some cases subject, and in other cases they might be the object. Okay, let's study the following sentences. There is the bus, there is the bus which goes to the stadium. When you read the sentence, you can realize that which refers to the bus. The bus goes to the stadium. And you can understand from this sentence that the bus is the doer, is the subject. So which, okay, refers to a subject. And the second sentence, Dania is the girl who I met at the exhibition. Okay, the relative pronoun who refers to whom? Refers to the girl. But the girl, I am the doer, and the girl received the verb of or the action of meeting. I mean, I am the subject and the girl is the object because I met the girl. I met Dania. So who refers to the girl and the girl is the object. Okay, the second point. Can you see that it is so easy? We can leave out the relative. Leave out means omit, delete, not use. We can leave out the relative pronoun who, which, and that. Okay, always? No, not always. But when they are at the object, not in the subject, when they are at the object of the defining relative clause, when they are at the place of the object, not at the place of the subject, as we explained here. For example, Dania is the girl who I met at the exhibition. Okay, I can read the sentence without using who, because who is in the place of the object. Dania is the girl I met at the exhibition. It's okay. The second one, I saw the film. I is the subject and the film is the object, which Sandra had told me about. I can't say I saw the film Sandra told me about. And that's it. I brought the CD that you wanted to borrow. That refers to the CD. So I is the subject and the CD is the object, and that refers to the CD. Okay, not on that. Anyways, so I can read the sentence without using that. I can say, I have brought the CD you wanted to borrow without using that. So in a brief, the relative pronouns who, which, and that could be omitted, deleted, if they are in the place of the subject. The next point. Now, this or these points are explained on page 79 here. On page 79 here. Okay? So we talked about the subject place, the object place, and omitting the object relative pronouns. We talked about this. You can read here. The book that you told me about wasn't in the shop, and you can notice that the relative pronoun that, okay, refers to what? To the book. So you told me about a book, and that refers to the book. You is the subject, okay, and the book is the object, and that refers to the book. So I can delete and omit the relative pronoun that, and I can say the book without using that. You can notice the book you told me about wasn't in the shop. Now now we are going to explain this book, or this box, I'm sorry. Now, prepositions and relative clauses. Okay, in some clauses, you might find a preposition joined with or combined with a relative clause. Prepositions are in, on, at. Okay, in, on, at, and for. These are prepositions. Okay, so we can use prepositions before the relative pronouns. Before, not after. Which relative pronouns? Before whom and which. Okay, and this is quite formal. To make it formal, okay, you might think, or this question might comes or come up to your mind, and you might ask yourself why I use the relative pronoun with a preposition, just to make your speech more formal. Okay, he is the man from whom I bought the book. He is the man from whom, so this is the relative pronoun whom, that refers to a person and the object, because I bought the book from the man. I is the subject, and the book is the first object, and the man is the second object. The man is the object, okay? And whom refers to the man. The man from whom I bought the book. Now you can notice that here I have a relative pronoun, okay, that joined with a preposition which is from. From is a preposition. Okay, can I say he is the man whom I bought the book without using from? Yes, I can. But to make my speech more formal. Okay, another sentence. 23rd April is the day on which the book will be published. So where is the relative pronoun? Excellent. Which? Do we have a preposition comes before the relative pronoun which? Yes, it is on. Why? To make my speech more formal. We can add these we can add these prepositions with whom and which only. Only. Okay. We can also put prepositions at the end of the relative clause. At the end of the relative clause. For example, to make it more formal. This is the man who I bought the book from. Now this is the relative pronoun, okay? And this is the relative clause at all. And this is the preposition. He is the man who I bought the book. It's enough. But we add from at the end of the relative clause to make it more formal. 23rd April is the day that the book, okay, where is the relative pronoun? Is that. Where is the relative clause? The book will be published on. Where is the preposition at the end of the relative clause? On. Why I do or why I put on at the end of the relative clause to make it quite formal. Now we can replace, it's up to you. You can replace relative pronouns with the preposition. These relative pronouns and prepositions, you can, again, we can replace some relative pronouns. For example, where and when and why. you can replace them with which, by, and a preposition together. For example, let's study these examples. Where could be replaced by which and in, the preposition in, or at, which and the preposition at. So where could be replaced by in which or at which. The relative pronoun when could be replaced by on which or in which. And the relative pronoun why can be replaced by for which. And when you read this example, for example, 23rd April is the day. The day is a time. So I have to use the relative pronoun when. Or you can replace when with on which. The town is a place. So you are supposed to use the relative pronoun where. But you can also replace where with in which. Okay. The reason why. The reason why. Now, the reason why refers to the reason. So the relative pronoun is why. But we can replace why by for which. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. I know that it is so easy and it includes many and many points that you have to be focused and study very well. Your job is to solve exercise number 2 on page 79 and to solve the exercise at the on page 79, exercise number 3. Thank you for watching. I wish that you have got the benefit. Thank you again and see you next time.